Hi, welcome back. So I've remounted the clocks and they look pretty good. I will be stripping these down. I'm going to spray all these satin black, just don't like the chrome. It's all a bit too shiny for me. For the moment, the next task is to mount the headlamp, and so I bought this sexy little number which I really like, but it's mounting it in a shell. So I bought a shell which was a bottom mounted shell. Apart from the fact it's gloss black, nasty bolts all over it, and generally fairly low quality. It just about fits in there, but the time you've got this nasty big ring on it to hold it in place with a bolt which doesn't line up, the thing is not entirely circular, it all looks pretty hideous. I wanted it to do a bottom mount because I wanted it as far back. I didn't want hangers off of the forks because I wanted to keep that nice and clean and minimalistic and just looking pretty cool. So I've looked at other models, other headlamps, and I have found one with a British company, Alchemy Parts, which looks really good. Nice styled headlamp, but again, I think the disadvantage of it is the shell that it comes in, so you know it's going to fit. Looks okay, but it's so deep. I think it was like 6 3/4 inches, which brings it out. So like, jeez, and you think, why so deep? And I think the answer is because a lot of people are renovating Japanese bikes, 750 Hondas, XS 650s and so on, and typically on a Japanese bike, and I know this from experience, all of the electrical connectors are all in the back of the headlamp, so they're providing you a nice deep shell in order to, because this is quite a deep headlamp in its own self, and it needs these fins to cool down the LEDs and so on, but you then need to pack in a load of electrical connectors unless you're going down the Moto Gadget route. None of the electrical connectors are in the headlamp on the Moto Guzzi. They're all under the tank and stuffed into the frame. So I did see a picture of a really nice looking headlamp with side brackets, but I cannot find that anywhere on any website, on any supplier, eBay or anything. So, and you can't just realistically, I don't know what's in there or what, I mean, I could, I guess, drill a hole and tap it into the alley. It might just burst through the back of an LED or a bit of wiring, so it's a bit hit and miss. What I'm thinking, because I do like the sort of look of the fins, I like the fact that it's quite slim compared to your average dished shell. So what I'm going to try and do, and it's a bit tricky, is wrap a piece of steel around there, clamp it, and then take some brackets off of that to bolt onto the bottom yoke. This could be another heel plate fiasco where 2 days later I'm saying, yeah, I'm bored with that, I need to go and buy a locally sourced LED headlamp. But you don't know if you don't try. So back to cardboard. So I thought, oh well, I'll make up a band like this, and that could go around, and then I could pick up some bolts here and then take them away to the bottom yoke with nuts and star washers so that I can get adjustment and then fix it. The problem is at the bottom here, there's a cutaway. So this 15-20mm band that sort of goes all the way around here, then just stops and disappears, and is under a lip, and is only about 2 to 3mm deep. And just even in cardboard, I can already feel it starting to sort of come away. So as you start to tighten it, it would just pop off that bottom, and the whole thing would be loose and all the rest of it. So then I'm thinking, well, maybe I could drill, as well as using silicone around this edge to sort of hold it on and clamp it on. Perhaps I could use a couple of very short self-tapping screws just to prevent any slippage, any movement, and any sort of pinging off. But we're getting sort of, that's 3 different types of fixing. So we've got a clamp, we've got a silicone, we've got self-tapping screws, all getting a bit messy. So I thought, well, yeah, perhaps I could use maybe 1 or 2 of these fins to pick up a bolt fixing. The problem with that is that it's aluminium. I think, well, I guess, I'm sure it is aluminium. Yep, it's aluminium. It doesn't attract to magnets. So they are, by definition, a little bit weaker, a little bit, can be a little bit brittle in that kind of arrangement. And they're slightly tapered. So getting a nut down there and then being able to fix a bolt in, and again, quite messy. I thought, oh well, I'll just have to wait for a new shell. The problem with the new shell is all too deep, and so I'm going back round in circles. What I'm thinking of now, and it's funny when I watch other people doing videos, and they go, oh, I'm going to do this, and there was 1 or 2 individuals particularly, and I'm thinking, no, don't do that. That's fundamentally flawed. What are you thinking of, man? But looking at that, I mean, they are only fins. They are quite deep. They obviously get deeper as you get nearer the centre. I mean, this wasn't hideously expensive. I think I paid 36 quid for it. But I'm thinking, well, you know, maybe if I drilled, because there's no cable or components anywhere in the fins, as you can see. So maybe I use a bit of trusty rod and I drill a hole right through from both sides, and that's going to be sort of tricky to get it all lined up and all the rest of it, and fix that straight the way through. There's no one else here. I can't bounce these ideas off anyone, and the dogs don't want to know, so you know. So that's what I'm thinking at the moment. In real terms, as long as I don't absolutely trash it, if I drill it and it kind of works, but it doesn't, I can take it out and put it in a shell, and have to live with the fact that the deeper shell was then going to bring the headlamp forward on the bike and further over the front mudguard, which is not the kind of look I'm looking for, but I might have to live with it. And no one will notice, no one will know, of course, what's hidden in the shell, apart from the 2 people that watch this on YouTube. Oh, I'll give it a go. See, I've just removed this this first fin here, because that was a half fin and I couldn't drill the hole where I'm intending to do. So I've just cut and filed that off. I'm going to drill right through there with a drill that just about goes more than halfway. And of course you can't fix it tightly because you can't clamp it in a vise, because this is some form of perspex and it will damage it. And so I'm just got a bit of old polystyrene and to fix it whilst or support it while I drill it. This could all go horribly wrong. We'll see. Start off with a small pilot hole. Oh, that's the wrong side. All right. Start off with a small pilot hole, trying to keep it absolutely vertical as I can with a cordless drill. Dear. can already hear the screams of "Don't do it! Don't do it!" Can't centre punch it either because obviously it's alley and it will actually shatter, I think. So that looks reasonably straight. I don't know if you can see that, and sufficiently deep in the fins that they're not going to break off, but not penetrating the main. I don't know if you can see, not penetrating the main part of the headlamp. Good, making some progress. So drilled the hole through. Yeah, they did sort of go a bit like both uphill, so at least I was consistent. So what I've done, I've actually straightened the hole up by drilling in from both sides, and a nice stainless steel bolt. Of course you won't really see any of this, and I will obviously spray it all black. The headlamp is now supported in terms of its weight, which is good. So what I intend to do is make up a little steel plate in 2mm steel, just the same size as this, so that it slots nicely on the end and doesn't look too cack. And then what I'll do is, when I've got it nice and shaped, is I will just tack weld it on either side. Here we are, there's the bolt running right through the back of the fins, so that's supporting the weight. And on the side here I've got this smaller panel here, which is going to be welded to the stud, and then this little bracket here will allow some movement sort of up and down, and then this bracket will go down there. We've welded on the back there, and we'll go down and fix on the yoke stud. I've just profiled that with a slight curve to it, I don't know if you can see that, and then that will got it welded onto there. Right, so this is it. So this is the bracket that comes up from the yoke to support the headlamp. A bracket then braces the, I don't know if you can see that there, sort of flat bracket there, which just braces the clocks, and then a third little bracket just to support this reflector spot lamp. So that's the kind of look I'm looking for. I think it seems to go together quite well. And yeah, so there's the daytime running light surround, and the spot lamp I think will be on all the time as well. And I can't put the low beam on because you need the engine running, but I can sort of flash. So three of the the reflector, there's three, one big reflector and two small reflectors. They come on with the with the high beam. So yeah, that looks good. Cool.